harvest is ripe. Statistics tell us that while people in North America are turning their back on church, they're more open to realize that they're on a spiritual quest than ever before. The opportunities are greater today than any time in my lifetime. I love the story of the man who was sent to Africa to sell shoes, and he sent an email back right away saying, in the country here in Africa, I can't sell any shoes because nobody wears shoes. I'm coming home. They sent another salesman to the same part of Africa, and he sent an email back, send as many shoes as you can. Opportunities endless. Nobody wears shoes. It all depends how you look at the harvest. Today, people from all over the world are coming to our shores. The mission field has come to us. Leaders, future leaders, the cream of the crop from nations all over the world are coming to our universities to study. What an amazing opportunity we have to influence them for Christ, and then they go back to their nations to change their world. This is really exciting stuff. I'd like to use the passage that we read and look at the context of the passage for the message I'd like to bring on the harvest being ripe. The passage was written because of the woman at the well, found in John chapter 4. Let me remind you of the story. It's a wonderful story. How Jesus is going to Galilee and he has to go through Samaria. The Jews hate the Samaritans. He's tired. His disciples go to McDonald's or somewhere to get food. He sits by a well, and a woman comes along, a Samaritan. They have a conversation. She's shocked that he's talking to her. He's a rabbi. She's a Samaritan, so on. And Jesus has this conversation with this woman and talks about living water that's going to quench her soul, discovers that she's living with a whole bunch of different people and hasn't had an immoral lifestyle, reveals to her that he is the Messiah. She believes and runs back to her village. Just then the disciples come and they see him speaking to this woman. They don't understand what he's doing, and they kind of think, what is he doing? But they don't say anything. They're probably thinking in their heart, he's wasting his time. There's no harvest to be had in Samaria. And that's when Jesus speaks to them, and that's when Jesus tells verse 35. He says to them, the harvest is ripe. And I can imagine those disciples, if they're as cynical as some of us, saying, oh yeah, sure. They're ripe there, but you're talking here. And just then, as he teaches on that, from over the hill come all the villagers that the woman has just led to Christ, and many more who are curious about Jesus, and they come over, and right there's an object lesson that Jesus was at work and that the harvest really is ripe. What I love about the story is that if God could use that woman to reach her entire village, there's hope for me. If Jesus could use that woman with the little she knew and the lifestyle she lived to make a difference, an impact on her town, then there's hope for you and there's hope for your church, because the harvest is ripe and God wants to use you to reap that harvest.